Welcome to the Connected Leaders Academy virtual conference designed to reshape your vision of transformation. As we navigate the evolving business landscape, our speakers will unveil innovative strategies to manage and initiate change. Prepare to adapt, innovate, and lead, ensuring your role in this transformative era.
Hello, everyone. My name is Barron, and I'm so excited to be here and having an opportunity to speak with you. I want you to pronounce the word philanthropy. That's right, philanthropy. It's probably a word that you don't use very often. It doesn't exactly roll off of your tongue. Matter of fact, I could have a blooper reel of all the times I've heard people mispronounce it. And it's no shame. It's not something you hear every day. Most people are familiar with the word, but they don't really know what it means or what it is. When you think about the word philanthropy, what do you think about? Or who do you think about? I'm sure you think about people like Bill and Melinda Gates, Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett, or the young man called Mr. Beast who's giving away hundreds of millions of dollars. All of these people are well-known philanthropists, but they're not the only ones. What are you well known for? What are you well known for? If you're not well known for philanthropy or charitable giving, guess what? You are missing out on the business of giving. That's right, the business of giving, and that's what my topic is about today. I want to talk to you about the business of giving because it could be a powerful tool for you in your business. It can help you with your business strategy. You can differentiate yourself from other businesses. You can engage your employees better. You can resonate with more customers. You can build that most important brand image, and it can make the world of difference in your business. Philanthropy can be used as a driver for business growth and social impact. Let's do an experiment. If you have company A, company B, company C, and all of those companies did the same thing, sold very similar products that you all enjoy. But company C says, we have a philanthropic arm to our business. We're being socially responsible. Now, guess what? Most of the time, about 90% of the people will go with that company that's being socially responsible. The research bears that out. Think about that for a minute. You've been to stores, grocery stores, and different restaurants, and they're asking you, do you want to make a donation of $1, $10, $5? And a lot of times people say, yes, I will. Why is that? It's because they can appreciate that this business has taken the initiative to support nonprofits in their communities. Matter of fact, millennials and Gen Zs don't even want to work for companies that are not being socially responsible. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. I was at Duke University recently, and I was talking to some wonderful students about philanthropy. And during my talk, about 15 minutes into it, a student raised her hand. And she said, Mr. Damon, I hate to ask this question, but what is philanthropy? And I saw the look in her arms and in her eyes, and I appreciated the fact that she was bold enough to ask the question. Because sometimes, as professionals, we take for granted that people know exactly what we're talking about. In that particular instance, I did, because here I am at one of the most premier, prestigious universities in the world, talking to brilliant students, and I assumed that they knew what philanthropy was. So I'm not going to assume today that you know what philanthropy is. I'm going to share it with you, and I'm going to give you the technical definition. I guarantee it's going to blow you away. The technical definition is philanthropy is the love of mankind. Wow. Drop the mic, right? Drop the mic. The love of mankind, that's it. But it's powerful when you think about it. Philo is the word love. Anthro is human or mankind. That's what it means. Do you love mankind? That's the question that I want to ask you today. Do you love mankind enough for you to use your time, your talent, and your treasure to make a difference in the lives of people? So ponder that for a moment as you continue to listen to me. I didn't always love mankind. If I'm being fully transparent, I loved my family, but more importantly, I loved me. You know, I spent a lot of time with me, thinking about me, talking about me, being selfish, not willing to give my time, use my talent or my treasure. All I wanted to do was make money. I'm a third generational entrepreneur. I saw my grandfather make money. I saw my father make money. I used to go with my grandfather when I was very young to all of his different business ventures. And I watched him and I said, ooh, I want to do that. I want to make money. But I didn't see the charity side. I didn't see the philanthropic side. I didn't know what philanthropy was. I didn't know what charities was and nonprofits. Matter of fact, that sounds like a interesting dilemma. Nonprofit, why would someone not want to make a profit? I don't understand that. I had never mentored anybody. I never volunteered at a soup kitchen or donated any money. I was too busy trying to position myself to make money. And some of you all listening to me today may be able to identify with that. Too busy trying to make money. Now, there's nothing wrong with making money. Trust me, I'm all for it. But I am all for also balancing it out where you can make money and also make an impact on people's lives. For me, I kind of had to learn the hard way. During my freshman year in college, I was leaving a party, a campus party with one of my cousins. He was staying with me for the weekend. And as I was going back to my dorm, I heard some people behind me. There wasn't many people outside because it was probably 12:30 at night. And I remember hearing something in my ear saying, someone is going to take a swim tonight. I was actually at the time walking past this reflection pond right in front of the library. I didn't think anything about it, but I just thought it was an interesting comment. I kept on walking, and before I knew it, out of nowhere, this guy hits me as hard as I can remember ever being hit, but it was directly in my face and in my eye. I immediately took off running, and I couldn't believe what was happening in that moment. It was a surreal moment. And in my mind, there were so many things going on. All I could think of, I want to run for my life. As I got to a certain point, I stopped and I realized that the perpetrator was behind me because I found out later there was 5, 6, 7 guys that was a part of this group that was literally going around different campuses in the area and terrorizing people for no reason. That night, I was in the wrong place at the right time. And before I knew it, I ended up in a police car, listening to this young man lie on me. I had never seen him before in my life. And here I am trying to defend myself against someone who was just out to do wrong. Can you imagine that? That was a defining moment in my life. That's the night everything changed. Have you had that defining moment in your life? As I was listening to the police officers and him just looking at me, like here is another black on black crime incident. It bothered me. It hurt me mentally, emotionally, and ended up hurting me socially as well. After being mentally, emotionally scarred, I went home. I went back home for a couple of weeks. I was a first generational college student, so I didn't know that I probably should have withdrew from school to save my grades. I went home. I can remember my grandmother saying to me, "Don't go back to that school." But I had to go back. I had to finish and take my exams. Unfortunately, after I took my exams, I failed miserably and I had a terrible GPA. I tried to come back the next semester and reset, but I couldn't reset. I was too embarrassed to talk to anyone and too experienced to know what to do. I didn't handle the situation properly. Now I was permanently kicked out of school. After that next semester, my grades were still low. They kicked me out of school. I was on an academic scholarship. So that means I lost everything. I lost my scholarship, I lost my dorm room, and I lost some of my friends. People who I had relationships with, at least I thought were my friends. But when they found out what happened to me, some of them, they just started disappearing. I was no longer on campus at the parties and in school. I was so desperate that I even would grab my backpack some days and just go on campus and act like I was a student. I didn't tell my parents because I was so embarrassed and shamed. I didn't want them to feel the pressure and the burden of handling my expenses without the scholarship. As a result of this situation, I started making bad decisions, bad choices. You know what I'm saying? Before I knew it, I couldn't even recognize myself anymore. I didn't know who I was. I applied to be readmitted back into the university for 4 years. 4 years, and they kept on saying, "No, Barron, you cannot come back. No, Barron, you cannot come back. No, Barron, you cannot come back. No, Barron, you cannot come back." Every year, I would hear that same message: no, no, no. And then I finally got a break that fourth year. I found an internship at the Columbia Urban League in South Carolina. This was another defining moment in my life. I was so excited about the internship. And then I found out the program was called Stop the Violence. Can you imagine? Stop the Violence? That's exactly, I started working with kids, the same kind of kids who hurt me. I could not wait for that program to be over. All I wanted to do is get back on track. All I wanted to do was get back on trying to make money. Even interacting with some of the kids, it left me feeling anger and bitter and disappointed. I couldn't wait for that summer to be over. I remember going home that day that summer ended, and I was so excited and so happy. I said, now it's time for me to move on. But I realized that God was calling me to do this work, to help young people, just like the young people who had hurt me. I discovered my philanthropic why. We have a new book called Transforming Lives. And the chapter that I wrote was, I discovered my philanthropic why after I got my black eye. You see me today, I'm wearing glasses. My eyesight was permanently damaged as a result of that. but my vision became really, really clear. I knew exactly what I wanted to do in life. My vision for my future was clear. I started my professional career at Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I learned about empathy. How do we care about people? Because that wasn't me. I didn't really care about people like that. I learned how to care about people. I started developing my own philanthropic why. I started using my time, my talent, and my treasure. And I went on to have a stellar career at Big Brothers Big Sisters. I learned how to put other people's needs before mine. And that was a new concept for me. And it may be a new concept for you too. I started asking the question, how can I impact the lives of others? And there are many ways that you can do that. According to the US Trust study, the greatest challenge that people have is not knowing what their philanthropic why is and what organizations they care about and what organization you can donate to. There are close to 2 million nonprofits in the world. I was talking to a wealth advisor because I work with wealth advisors, estate planners, and attorneys with my business as a philanthropic coach. And he says, Barron, I really want to make a difference. I really want to help people, but I don't know how to get started. And I said, of course, I can help you with that. But why don't you know? There's only 2 million nonprofits out there. And we got to laugh about that. But I said, I can help you take those 2 million nonprofits and narrow it down to 3 to 5. As a philanthropic coach, we help people create their vision, their mission, and their strategic plan around their giving. If your business doesn't have a strategic plan, you are missing out on the impact and the business of giving. Small to medium-sized businesses can use philanthropy as a tool to make a difference. We know that larger companies do it all the time. They create these programs called corporate social responsibility programs. But sometimes we boast of making 6 and 7 figures, and we talk about the money that we're making, but we're not giving back to our communities. What are you waiting for to make a difference in your community? When I'm meeting with people, I hear a variety of reasons why people don't want to be philanthropic right now. It's not because they're bad people, obviously, because they're doing some great things in their business, but they just haven't taken the time. Because people say, oh, I don't have the time to do that. Oh, it's not the right time. Oh, I'm too busy working or spending time with my family. And I tell them, incorporate your philanthropy with your family. I remember days sitting around the table with my children, my wife, and we're deciding what organizations we're going to support. How about the money? People say, hey, I don't have all the money that I need to be able to do that. I don't have enough money. How much money do you need to be philanthropic? All you need is the willingness and a strategy. I've seen people's lives change for as little as $100, $250, $500. I have my own personal story of how I gave $10 to someone over a course of a year, multiple times. And that turned into a $10,000 blessing. I would love to share more of that story with you later on. People have misconceptions about philanthropy. They see and hear about billionaires giving away all this money, and they automatically exclude themselves. It's not about the gift size, it's about your generosity. How about if you don't know what to do strategically? We help people set up a strategy that they can use to support nonprofits. You have others in your communities that you can help and make a difference. I want to share with you in my last few minutes some of the powerful strategies that you can use in your own business Take your pencil and your paper out because you're going to want to capture this. It will help you with enhanced reputation. Engaging in philanthropic activities enhances your company's reputation. It improves your brand image among consumers, employees, and stakeholders. How about customer loyalty? I mentioned earlier the example between ABC customers. You're more likely to support and be loyal to a company that's making a difference in their communities. How about employee engagement? We know that retention is a big problem in this country for big businesses and small businesses alike. Helping people in your community helps with employee engagement, and there's a lot of research out there about it. How about risk mitigation? How about if your company is kind of struggling with your brand or some challenges you may have? Philanthropy can help mitigate risk, and we've worked with people who had to mitigate risk before. How about access to talent? Companies involved in philanthropy often attract the top talent because they want to come work with you, because they know that you're doing good in the world. How about innovation and collaboration? Philanthropy invites you to collaborate with others. As entrepreneurs, there's a lot of things that you have to be responsible for. You're being creative and innovative, but you can do the same thing, even if you don't have the resources right now. But you do have time and you do have talent. How about donating goods and services? These are some things that you can do for free. Offering products or services for free or at a discounted rate to support causes that you believe in. How about volunteering your time? Encouraging your employees to volunteer. I have a small team, but I always tell them, take some time to volunteer and I'll pay for it. And I'm not a big company. Provide resources, share resources such as office space. How about that? Equipment or expertise with local nonprofits. There's some skill sets. We have so many entrepreneurs on this call today, and they have so many areas of expertise that they can help and support. How about raising awareness? Maybe you have a great following on your social media outlet, and you can have them use your social media account to raise money. You can partner with nonprofits. You can offer mentorship. You can host fundraising events for nonprofits because that's so important. And you can implement sustainable practices. According to the Harvard School of Business, over 90% of consumers worldwide are likely to switch brands supporting a good cause. I'll leave this with you. One day, my son and I was in the car and we was at a stop sign. And he says, Dad, who is that person there? I said, son, it's a homeless person. And they need food and water and shelter. And he said, Dad, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Here's this 3 or 4-year-old kid. He knew there was something wrong. There's a lot that we can do. I remember feeling that sinking sound saying, what are you going to do about it? And I'm asking you today, what are you going to do about it for your company in the business of giving? We'll see you soon. You can go to barrondamon.com.
Thank you for participating in today's enlightening session. As we transition to our next expert, remember that each strategy and insight is a step toward becoming a transformative leader in your field. Visit connectedleadersacademy.com to stay engaged and informed. The journey of change is ongoing. Let's move forward together.